It's hard to believe we're already well into November, with the year drawing to a close. As the festive season approaches, gatherings fill calendars, and reunions unfold across different cultures worldwide. This time of year brings joy to many, but for others, it stirs up complex emotions, tensions that surface, especially in family dynamics. As we approach the end of the year, the importance of understanding and navigating these relationships cannot be understated. There's a saying we've all heard growing up, one that echoes across languages and regions. Blood is thicker than water. It's meant to emphasize the unbreakable bond of family, the idea that kinship surpasses all other relationships. For many, this phrase is a comforting truth, an anchor in their lives. But for some, it feels more like a burden than a reassurance, especially as the holiday season brings old wounds back to the surface. Today, we're delving into the nuances behind this saying and what it means when family ties don't provide the sanctuary they're supposed to. In our evolutionary past, family bonds were indeed critical. Back when survival was the only priority, your tribe, those connected by blood, was the only defense against a world filled with dangers. Family was synonymous with security and trust. But as societies grew and relationships became more complex, the simplistic view that all familial bonds should be prioritized above all else began to show its limitations. Life is no longer about simply ensuring the survival of one's bloodline. It's about finding meaning, peace, and genuine connection. And in the pursuit of these, not all family relationships meet the mark. For many, the notion that family should always come first can be used manipulatively. When this sentiment is wielded as an obligation, it's easy to overlook how some family dynamics can be harmful. For those who had the fortune of growing up in nurturing and loving homes, this may seem unthinkable. Yet, the reality for countless others is starkly different. According to a large-scale survey conducted by Cornell University, roughly 27% of Americans report being estranged from at least one family member. While this figure may be higher in more individualistic cultures like those in North America, it doesn't mean family relationships in other parts of the world are always healthier. The pressure to maintain ties often weighs heavily, regardless of culture. In many families, children are taught that their parents and siblings are their primary support system. Yet, this well-meaning guidance can take a darker turn when it becomes a tool for control, pushing children to act against their best interests to fulfill a parent's expectations. For some, escaping a toxic home environment is an act of survival in itself. It's a decision often marred by guilt and doubt, particularly during the holidays, when the cultural emphasis on family unity reaches its peak. The choice to sever ties is never easy. Most who make it don't do so out of spite. They do it because they need peace. And that peace doesn't come without pain. When someone mentions that they don't have a relationship with certain family members, it can be tempting to judge or question their decision. But understand that their journey is different from yours. They have faced choices you may never fully comprehend, and they've made the best ones they could for their well-being. Extending support rather than judgment can mean the world to someone who is walking that difficult path. It's essential to recognize that not everyone experiences the warmth and safety of a close-knit family. For those who grew up in chaotic or harmful environments, walking away is often the healthiest thing they can do, even if it goes against the conventional wisdom that family should be everything. Let's revisit that age-old saying, blood is thicker than water. The version most of us know simplifies the original meaning, which is quite the opposite. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. It implies that the bonds we form through shared experiences and mutual support can be stronger than those created by birth alone. The relationships built through trials, where loyalty and understanding are forged, hold a different kind of depth. For many, discovering this truth comes when they finally leave the familiarity of home. They start to see that the people who should have had their best interests at heart may have never truly prioritized them. The realization is jarring, sometimes heartbreaking, but it's also liberating. Creating boundaries with family doesn't equate to a lack of love. Often, the love remains, making the decision to set those boundaries even more painful. It's a choice made not to sever love, but to protect oneself from recurring harm. And if you are one of the fortunate few who grew up surrounded by unconditional love and support, cherish it. Know how rare and precious that kind of family is. Be open to inviting others into your circle who might not have that experience. Family isn't always defined by blood. It can be chosen and formed through meaningful connections with those who uplift you. There's no shame in seeking out therapy to heal or mend fractured family ties if you feel that's the path for you. And if setting firm boundaries with certain relatives is necessary for your peace of mind, there's no shame in that either. In the end, the most crucial aspect of this season isn't the pursuit of a perfect family gathering. It's about nurturing connections that genuinely contribute to your well-being. Whether through embracing your birth family or cultivating new bonds that feel like home, the choice is yours.